This is Speaking of Speaking. Quick tips and tools to take you from stage fright to spotlight. This podcast gives you an inside look from the world of public speaking and the speaking secrets you need to be bold from the stage, no matter what business you're in. The host of Speaking, Carl Richards.
Thank you, Matt. Yes, it's another edition of the Speaking of Speaking podcast. I am so excited today. I'm excited every day, but I'm really excited today because we have two very special ladies joining us today. And they're going to be talking about the mother-daughter connection. We're going to do a deep dive in communication, mother-daughter style. But let me introduce Rochelle Schwartz and her daughter, Alisha Schwartz. They are two dynamic women. They're both in business. They have about 40 years combined experience together. They have now taken their individual business experience, not to mention their relationship, and they've now brought it into its very own business, as well as some other great things that they do. They're on YouTube. They have a Facebook page. They have so many things going on. To have them talk about some of that, let's bring them on and say welcome to the podcast, Rochelle and Alisha.
Thank you, Carl.
I love that. In unison, you said it to, you're like one, there was no countdown. There was no 1, 2, 3. You just know, you just play off each other perfectly.
We do. That's why we're a duo.
And I love it. I love it. Now, you each bring how many years experience of business to this relationship, to this business relationship?
40 years together, 20 years each.
20 years each.
Yeah, long time.
So Rochelle, let's start with you, Rochelle. What's your business background? Where did you get your start?
Well, that goes back when I was 30 years old, and I heard this voice say, "It's time for you to go out and find out who you are." And I never looked back. It wasn't an easy road by all means, but I never looked back. And I did so many things. And then in 1995, 96, I ended up with the Ford Institute, which is with Debbie Ford, the late Debbie Ford. And I never left because the work is profound. It's all about your shadows. What you can't be with won't let you be. It's about your thoughts, behaviors, and your beliefs. And so that's how I started. And believe me, I was not anywhere near school. I had learning disabilities, and they didn't even know at that time what to do with me. So I didn't have any kind of skills, so to speak. This gave me the impetus to, wait a minute, this could be my own college degree. And I went for it. And it wasn't an easy course. We took everything that we coach in is certified. It took us a lot of time to be listened to by staff. I mean, it's profound, Carl. I can't even begin to tell you. And then, of course, your life experiences, getting divorced, looking at why you choose the people you do in your life, because they're your mirrors and your lessons. So what better way to take this journey and really see what it is about the people that you bring into your life, because there are no accidents at all.
And that's an amazing story, an amazing journey that you've been on. Alisha, I want to get to you and ask you, where did it begin for you? Where was your start in the business world?
Well, it goes back to, it's funny how we're so much alike. I had a learning disability as well. So interesting. I wonder where I came from. And, and from that place of having that learning disability and then diving into HEAL and finding out about Debbie Ford's work. That's why we work together. We've done a lot of work. Obviously, that's why we are doing this work together. Dived into coaching and became a certified coach in Debbie's work. And then from that point, I became a licensed massage therapist as well. So the body-mind connection. So it all kind of came together through healing myself with this work.
And now you've taken that work that you've both been working on individually, you've brought it together. How's that journey been? Because you're not just now mother and daughter, but you're mother and daughter in business together. How's the journey been so far?
I think that obviously, because we have skills, we have tools, we have communication. And I'm telling you, not all the time is it a very easy road, but we do have those skills, and we sit down and we communicate how we're feeling. And so, and then we laugh about it
Yeah.
because it's really funny when you really get to see that you need to take responsibility for your own self.
Yeah, there's not too much pointing the finger in this relationship, because we both know that if we're pointing the finger, it's usually because it's our issue and that we need to take responsibility for it. So we can't get away with much,
Yeah.
because we both know, because we both done tons of work on ourselves, and then together, that you got to take responsibility, or else you're not going to get anywhere, really. You're just going to keep pointing your finger and blaming the other person for why you don't have what you want and why you don't get what you get. And it's a never-ending battle. So
Do you find some of the communication is different from, say, a typical business relationship where it's, you're not necessarily connected to that person, because of, a mother-daughter relationship? Is it different, or is it essentially the same? Does it translate well?
Does it translate well in the business world, this kind of connection that we have? You mean
Yeah.
emotional?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Because even if you're a CEO of a company, you have to know the fundamental skills of emotion and spiritual education. You have to know how to communicate with people in a way that's effective, so your productivity is that much more effective, right? If you don't have that communication or that emotional connection to understanding people on the fundamental level, your level of productivity for people and growing your business is not going to fly as much as if you did have these skills and tools, because you can relate to people in ways that if you didn't have this,
Right.
you wouldn't be able to relate in the same way. It's very technical. It's very cut and dry.
Right.
You got to know the insides of people to know how to work and navigate and help and support, so that everything lifts and your company thrives.
Because at the end of the day, we all have our own communication styles. We have our own individual passions. We have our ideas. Are they easy to articulate in a mother-daughter duo?
Absolutely.
Definitely, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's like we speak the same language.
Yeah, we do. We speak the same language, and we're training people to speak the language as well.
Yeah.
So they have better relationships with their mothers, their daughters, their sisters, aunts, grandparents,
all women,
all.
Or men, obviously, but
primarily it's women,
because those are the relationships that we obviously know really well, because we're not men.
Yes, thank you for clarifying.
Right? It was very good.
That's where you come in, Carl.
Can you be any more articulate than that? But no, I think you hit the nail on the head, though, when you said that it's, and I think we're seeing more of this. We're seeing in the times that we're in right now, we're seeing more collaboration within the household, whether it's husband, wife, mother, daughter, father, son. They're getting these ideas of, hey, let's do this thing together. At the end of the day, though, it's not about doing the thing. It's about the communication. Well, actually, it's about the passion first. Do you both have it? If not, it's not going to work. But it's about the communication, and that communication has to be extremely pronounced. It has to be there all the time for every step of the way, just like in any other business, correct?
Yes, correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah, people have a business plan. Well,
yes.
This is their business plan, how to communicate effectively, and so they can thrive, really, and learn the skills and tools to do that.
And I think, Carl, what you had said is that everybody's into, or most people today are into collaborating. And I think one of the good things about the COVID is that's what happened. We're together a lot. So we have to become so creative, and we learn. I have heard more people say, I didn't know that about you. They're learning more about themselves because they're not going anywhere.
Right.
And hopefully they can communicate, because there are a lot of people, I understand, that are getting divorced because they can't stand each other.
Because they weren't around each other for long.
It's true.
They were working.
Right.
Oh, now we're together 24/7. I don't even like this person.
Right.
Who are you?
Exactly.
Oh, we just had weekends together and cocktails. You know, we had our kids. It's great. Everything's fabulous.
Yep.
But wait, we never had this kind of bonding experience. You know what I mean?
Or it's working the other way where they are working it out. They think and they see that it's so important that it's almost like they're creating a new relationship with each other, a newfound love.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny you mention that, because one of the things that's happened in my household in recent days, and if you're catching this podcast 2 or 3 years from when it's first airing, this will still be relevant, I think. But what's happening is, as things progress, what I'm noticing is not only am I working from home because I am my own business person now, but my spouse has decided that, you know what? I want to have my own business. So we now have 2 businesses in the household. They're both extremely different. Here's the magic, though. We have open discussions about both of them. We celebrate our wins. We support each other through the cruddy times where we go, well, that didn't work, but we support each other. We lift each other up. We do those things. How important is that as well as a form of communication for any duo, especially in the mother-daughter?
Well, I think support is the number one thing. And you want to feel safe in that relationship where you can communicate how you're feeling and to be heard, which is really important. And do you have anything else to add to that?
And I think that, like you were saying, Carl, to celebrate your wins and your losses, and to have that support and that safety, you can fly. Without that, it's hard to fly. Your wings don't go all the way out. It's like half wings, But when you have that level of connection and support from your mother or your daughter, and I'm sure there's daughters out there understand.
Oh yeah,
and
moms
mothers,
too, absolutely.
You can navigate the world in a better way, in a much richer way than you would if you didn't have those connections.
And I think because of the tools that we share with them and they receive, it's like gold. It really, really is like gold, because a lot of times in relationship, there's always finger pointing. No, you should do this. No, you could have done that. And there's judgment to it.
Sure.
And so when you have that open communication and you feel the safe place that you can fall in the safety net, it's a win-win.
There you go.
I love it. And without giving away your best secrets, because that's why people hire you, is to get the best secrets that they possibly can. But without giving away all of your secrets and all of the things that you do for people in business, what's something you can pass along to people on this podcast that if they're looking to either improve their communication, if they're looking to start something, what's something you could share with them that will that magic nugget or something, that one thing that if you just do this one thing, you'll notice a difference or magic will start to happen? I know we've covered a lot of things already, but what's one nugget that is so important that maybe we haven't touched on yet, that will just see that relationship not only become more cohesive, but then will also allow it to flourish?
Well, I would say one nugget, and I know my mom has another. I would say journaling is really powerful to get all that emotional distress out of your body. We call it dis-ease out of the body, because all that emotion that lives in the body causes that, that manifesting yucky feeling.
Yeah.
Getting it out helps you, number one, breathe. And it helps, number two, get it out of that mind space onto paper. That way you start to feel like better. You feel better about yourself. You feel better about getting it off your chest. Yeah. And it's just another way to, relieve any stress in that relationship. Just to journal until you can't journal anymore. Free write it. I can't stand what my mother did to me yesterday. She's da-da-da-da-da. And just keep going until there's nothing left.
And then I have one thing.
Go ahead, Rochelle.
We're a duo. Well, really two, but anyhow, it's to write a gratitude, what you're grateful for.
Yes.
Look and see, what are you so grateful for? Because it changes the dynamic of your energy, and we're all made of energy. So look at how important that is, and just don't stop, because that's how powerful it is.
I like those two things together because, Alisha, I like how you talked about the journaling and that, almost that list of things that are bugging you, or things that are just, they're there and you got to get it out, right? And until you're done. And the parallel to that of, you know what, once you've done that, then flip it and be in that place of gratitude. I love how those two go together. It's almost like you need two journals then. You need the journal nobody reads, and the journal that you don't mind sharing with people.
Your angry journal. Your angry journal.
And
Yeah,
Your gratitude journal.
You need the angry journal, the gratitude journal, the evidence journal, all of those things. You need them all put together. Rochelle Schwartz and Alisha Schwartz have been my guests today. Mother-daughter duo, dynamic mother-daughter duo. I think I'm going to say that because when you see these ladies, and we're going to share some information with you momentarily of how you can connect with them, but when you see these ladies in action, when you see them in their videos, it's phenomenal, the chemistry. And I think that everyone who watches them goes, I want my relationships to be like those two. I want that same spark and that same magic that they have, because that's exactly how I feel when I see what you two fantastic ladies are putting together. It is unique. And I know that because Rochelle, you and I, and Alisha has been a part of that discussion too. We've talked about, getting a podcast for you guys, and there's not a lot of that mother-daughter combo thing. So one of the things I want to do before we turn people loose is give you the opportunity to share how people can connect with you. And I know you have a fantastic workshop coming up in March. So talk about that.
So the workshop that we're doing in March is obviously really dynamic in its own way. And we're going to be doing a lot of different exercises together to create more boundaries, right? They're going to walk away with clearer boundaries, which is so important in a mother-daughter relationship, really any relationship, deeper levels of communication, right? And then the healing piece and the forgiveness piece in the relationship between themselves and with the relationship between the two of them. So that's really what it's about, but you got to come do it to experience more, because there's so much more available in that.
And it's March 18th at 7 p.m.
on Zoom.
And that's
Zoom.
And that's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have listeners all over the world on this podcast, so good to note that it's Eastern Standard Time. And it's the mother-daughter dynamic duo, saucy, soulful 7-week workshop. Did I get it right?
Yeah.
Nailed it.
You did. You nailed it. Good job.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how can people connect firstly with that workshop? I'm actually going to post the link in the show notes that they'll be able to, if you're listening, you'll be able to grab that link and sign up. We'll make sure that link is in the show notes for you. But what's another way that people can connect with you and follow you or find out more about what it is that you're doing?
Well, first we have a YouTube channel, so please be our subscriber. And it's mother-daughter dynamic duo on YouTube. And we do usually our videos on Tuesdays at 2:00.
Awesome.
Eastern time. And then we have a Facebook page, mother-daughter dynamic duo on, is it Gmail?
That's all right. So it's on Facebook, the Facebook Mother-Daughter Dynamic Duo, and you can also, and LinkedIn, we're also on LinkedIn.
Right.
And you can also schedule a consult with us, either a half hour, and we'll set up a Zoom link so that you can consult with us as well.
That's fantastic. Some amazing ways that people can connect with you. And I am so excited for where this relationship is headed, because I know that you have some great information you want to share with people. That workshop again, what's the start date again?
March 18th at 7 p.m. I also want to give you, the listeners, our email address.
Sure.
Which is Coach Rochelle at Comcast.net.
And then the mother-daughter dynamic duo at gmail.com.
And give your email.
And also shadow BSTR3 at yahoo.com.
Okay, so we'll make sure that if you're listening, we'll make sure that those links that Rochelle and Alisha have shared, that was a lot that they just shared. So we'll make sure those are posted in the show notes for you. So go to those links. You'll be able to see them. You'll see the link to sign up for their fantastic event that starts in March. You'll see also their link to their YouTube channel, how to get a hold of them via email, and their Facebook link as well, to jump in their page, to jump in their community and experience the magic of the mother-daughter dynamic duo. Rochelle and Alisha, it's been so much fun. Thanks for joining me on the podcast today.
Oh my God, thank you.
It's been amazing.
Until next time, it's Carl Richards. Get out there and own the platform.
Thanks for listening to the Speaking of Speaking podcast. Fired up about something you heard today? Want to learn more? Be sure to visit carlspeaks.ca. And don't forget to follow Carl on Twitter at CarlRichards72 or join the Facebook group Speaking of Speaking.